Last part, folks. Everybody ready? Let's dive in.
Global warming, or none like it hot. You're probably wondering why your ice cream went away. Well, Susie, the culprit isn't foreigners, it's global warming.
Global wobble?
Yeah. Meet Mr. Sunbeam. He comes all the way from the sun to visit Earth.
Hello, Earth. Just popping in to brighten your day. La 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 la. And now I'll be on my way.
Not so fast, Sunbeam. We're greenhouse gases. You ain't going nowhere.
Oh! Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh, God, it hurts!
Pretty soon, Earth is chock full of sunbeams. They're rotting corpses heating our atmosphere.
How do we get rid of the greenhouse gases?
Fortunately, our handsomest politicians came up with a cheap, last-minute way to combat global warming. Ever since 2063, we simply drop a giant ice cube into the ocean every now and then.
Just like Daddy puts in his drink every morning. And then he gets mad.
Of course, since the greenhouse gases are still building up, it takes more and more ice each time. Thus, solving the problem once and for all.
But...
Once and for all!
We learned about multiple environmental issues in this chapter, and the grand sum of all of them is climate change. The root cause of this is the buildup of greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels and other human processes, as we saw in the last couple of lessons. Unfortunately, we also know that deforestation prevents lots and lots of trees from easily removing these gases from the atmosphere. Higher temperatures aren't the only issue here, though. They change the entire planet's weather patterns and lead to widespread formation of deserts, although that might be balanced out a bit when huge chunks of the world go underwater as all ice and snow melt. And of course, loss of biodiversity. That's always a problem we have to look at. We live on an island, and we've seen some truly crazy weather in the last decade or so. Unfortunately, that seems like the new normal, so good luck with that. How do we try and stop this, though? The same things we've seen already. Replace trees as we use them, find more efficient and safer energy sources. For whatever reason, some people criticize climate change ideas. One thing you hear all the time, this criticism they come up with, is that scientists don't agree on climate change, that there's not a consensus or some wording of that. That's not remotely true. This is what we see. This is what we know. You can see a lot of really, really smart people on that list right there. All are in complete agreement what's going on. And for some reason, people don't want to hear it. This is a screenshot from 2011 with a useless quote-unquote debate between Mr. Bill Nye and some doofus who looks like he's about to explode from the effort of rejecting obvious fact. They were talking about how 2012 would probably be the hottest year in recorded history, and it was, until 2013, and 2014, and 2015, and 2016. Seeing a pattern here? And then 2017 happened, and 2018, and 2019, and so far 2020. But I'm sure next year will be different, right? It's going to suddenly get a lot colder and normal, and everybody's going to not melt and die and everything bad happening you could possibly imagine. That'll probably happen, right? Let's be sure about that. My favorite anti-climate change argument by far is that this is a normal thing. The world got this hot millions of years ago. Yes, it did, and then most things died. So that's really a great benchmark you're aiming for right there. Just quickly go through this list on the screen up there. Things like livable cities, renewable energy, we don't have to rely on anybody else. As mentioned previously, the rest of the world doesn't want our fossil fuels, so we're kind of on an island by ourselves, and that island's going to fill up with water really quickly. Getting clean air and water, having people healthy from the air and everything around us. Sustainability, keeping energy independence. All these things are positive things, so even if this was a hoax, which it's clearly not, why do we care? Let's do this stuff. Get it done. This is a little graphic of average temperature around the world by year. And obviously the blue line is going to be a little bit cooler. The warmer colors, oranges and reds, are going to be a little bit hotter. And what do we notice as it's going up by year? We see Europe and America as more developed parts of the world, and Asia kind of following behind that. What do we notice about all these colors? It's weird how this is changing, isn't it? Also the nice little graph at the top right there. It slows down a little bit so we can appreciate these numbers. This is only 2016 it stops. So we're now 4 years past that, and this change has not turned around at all. So that's not really good. We've now entered the scientist propaganda portion of the program today, where I show you all laws that have changed the last couple of years and hope you get as annoyed about them as you should be. These are things that will affect you at some point. I mean, it's just some of my favorites here. There was this law to ban the use of an insecticide that causes brain damage in fetuses, and for some reason that was considered something that shouldn't exist as a law. I don't know why that would ever be bad. There's a law here, or a lawsuit rather, that was going to try to cut down on mercury emissions. That's a pretty toxic thing. We don't want that in the air at all. But apparently that wasn't important enough, so that was scaled back too. I don't know why this would be a one-sided issue or why everybody wouldn't be outraged by this, but these are things that are going to come up in your lifetime. Those first rules were things that were proposed or done. We also got some stuff that's still being processed. I haven't updated this list in about a year and a half, though, because it's really kind of depressing. There are better things to worry about right now. I'm just going to leave this here. Again, some more really important things. You used to be able to actually do environmental reports. Now, if you do, they have to only be 1 year in length and max of 150 pages because people don't really like to read. And when you're trying to keep people from knowing the truth about things, it's good to not let them read stuff that's too long. Also, there was a law protecting people that live near uranium mines from having groundwater contamination because, trust me, you don't want uranium in your groundwater. So that's not really good. But apparently that wasn't important enough either. At least there's nothing in our local water, though, right? I mean, we're safe where we are. I mean, we're on Long Island. Is nuts. All right, maybe not. These look like healthy names, all right. 1,4-dioxane. Is that the only one on here? Oh, look, carcinogenic. That's good. Yeah, why need anything else? Anyway, there used to be a really great website where you could put in your zip code and see all the most recent water testing results, including which chemicals were in the groundwater near you and where they came from. I couldn't find it when I looked just about a week ago, so I'll see if I can find it if it turns up at all. But it's really important. I think it's really interesting to look at. I know that's nothing new to do tests of groundwater, but it was a nice kind of concise place to get anything and see all the local results and stuff. It was kind of cool. I don't want to get any more depressing than this, so I'll leave this right here. There is a great YouTube video, though, for anyone who's interested. It's the people who make the crash course videos. I don't think we've probably watched them too much, if at all, in this class, just because it's not really like a lot of biomaterial. I know I use them a lot in chem, and history people have said they use them sometimes. It's the people that do that stuff, the crash course, but this is their SciShow channel, so it's a slightly different one. Same people, but it's a different version of it on YouTube. So it's about 10 minutes long. If you want to watch this video, it's good. I put the little thing up here so you can find it. It covers a couple of things that we don't really get into here just because we don't have time to watch this 10-minute or 11-minute video, but it is, I think, really important stuff. And it's the kind of climate change results or the effects that you probably don't hear people talk about on TV, mostly because a lot of the people who you do see on TV talking about this stuff are not intelligent. They don't know enough to mention these things because legitimate scientists don't go on TV anymore because they get asked stupid questions and they just kind of end up wanting to slam their head against the desk. You notice a lot of people who you probably would recognize being on TV talking about these things, you don't see anymore because they don't waste their time with that. At the end of the day, people are going to choose to believe whatever they want to believe for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I would suggest approaching this material here as you should approach everything in life, and that's to think of it like a scientist. We did that on the first day of school where you did a little puzzle I tried to get you thinking scientifically. In other words, I want you to act like a New Yorker. Assume everyone has an agenda and they're out to get something from you. Make somebody prove the truth to you. If some talking head on cable news show wants to tell you that every scientific expert on the planet is lying to you, then make them prove it to you. And if all those scientists want you to believe them, make them prove it also. Luckily, there are a few 100,000 research papers out there if you really want to read up on this topic. But someone's lying and someone's telling you the truth. These are not political issues. They shouldn't be political issues. Your safety, your health, and the health of the planet and everybody around you should not be a one-sided thing where someone's got as good an argument as anybody else. This is an either-or issue, and you have to learn to read through all the garbage and get to the truth of it. And on that note, we're finally done with ecology. So thanks for sitting through my rant. Next up, next week, we're going back to genetics. We barely started talking about DNA in those last few days we were together. I think some classes didn't even really get to talk about DNA. So we're going to go back and restart that chapter. I'm going to need to figure out how the heck to teach the most challenging topic of the year from my couch. So yay for me. As a reminder, I'll have a Microsoft Teams extra help chat for anyone interested this Tuesday. That's, I think, April 7th at 12 noon. For now, go finish your forms. Have a good day and a relaxing long holiday weekend. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.